I loves me some 1 degree of Chunky B.
Now, I just have to make a comment about Chunky B. Have you ever seen him looking so good?
The panel then includes actress Lady Kazan, comedian Chunky B, and Playboy TV host Julie Strain. Chunky?
What was the question?
Are we running? Stop saying, are we running, dude? I went like that.
I know. Are we ready? Okay, wait a second. First
Are we ready?
You're not even allowed to talk just yet.
Is this thing on?
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I want to let you, I'm looking you square in the eye like I do every freaking week. Thank you. Oh, you're still, for some reason, tuning in and listening, and I cannot thank you more. 1 degree of Chunky B on chunkyb.tv. I'm getting your Twitters. I'm getting all the love. And thank you for sharing this whole experience in the Garage of Love. Before I go any further, I'm going to introduce the executive producer of Love. He's right across the table. He goes by the name of Gary Adler, acting cool in the shades because he's busting out what? Our favorite beverage. Talk to me, G.
Sorry, I just accidentally showed the guest for 1 split second.
What?
Anyway, this is Chunk. In this week, we have the Stoner Duck Hemp Ale, and I'll put that right up there.
Yeah.
I don't have you on camera yet. I'm not that clever.
Okay.
And so that's from John Henry and Christian Warren. And we love that they drop these beers off for us every week. We love you guys.
How cool is it that every week on a Monday afternoon, I come home and there's a case of Venice Duck on our porch.
That's a nice gesture.
It's an amazing, amazing situation.
Yeah, and just to give the folks at home a clue, Travis isn't here today, so I'm on the 1s and 2s.
Yep.
And I do the best job I can, so forgive me.
Hey, you know something? No, the last podcast when you were doing the technical directing and and executive producing couldn't have been better. But I'm going to tell the people
and
at
that's
home,
not a knock on Travis, or is it?
Oh, I'm going to let you guys know the reason why the executive producer of Love, Gary Adler, has sunglasses on is because the sky and the sun in New Orleans is bright, representing the great Crescent City. I'm just going to cut right to the chase. Say hello to John Gros.
Give me thunder.
Give me thunder.
Give me thunder.
I'm going to tell you something. Here's why I have goosebumps all over my body right now. The gentleman in the Garage of Love, our guest, John Gros, is a phenomenal individual. He is a great person, big heart, but unbelievable on the keyboards. And it's when you start Facebooking this, I'm talking too much. Say hello to me.
Hey, Chunky. How you
Say
doing?
hello to Adler.
What's up, man?
Nice shades.
It was a pleasure to meet you. Well, I wear the shades when a musician is on because that's cool, Daddy-O.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Is that what happened to mine?
I don't know, man. You got to be. That's BYO shades here, man. You're in the garage.
All right. Here's why I am grateful, fortunate, and honored to be your friend. One, you were on stage when I asked my wife to marry me.
I was.
That was like 16 and a half years ago. And hello, you flew up to New York and played my wedding reception with George Porter and the Running Partners. This guy is phenomenal. Just say something cool.
I've just been a part of your life, Chunky B.
Who hasn't?
I love it.
I don't know anyone who hasn't.
I'm 1 degree.
You are.
I love
it. And you know, we just had lunch down in Venice Beach.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Where'd you go?
We went down to the terrace.
Oh, that's nice down there.
Yeah, I was going to take him to Hanano's, but Nancy was with us, and you know.
Yeah.
So we opted for a nice salad.
Yeah. Right. Let's talk about the scene. Let's talk about the music. Let's talk about what's coming out of New Orleans right now. Are you happy with what you're seeing?
Oh, I love it. I think New Orleans music is in a better place than I've ever seen it in my life. I mean,
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I've been playing the clubs since the early 90s and trying to find my own gig since the late 90s. And it's so hard to get a gig in New Orleans. There's more clubs than there ever been.
Yeah.
There's more musicians than there's ever been. It's hard to get a gig because the musicians coming up are that good and they're that focused.
Are they younger?
Yeah.
Or they're just different?
They're younger. I mean, what happened is sometimes somewhere in the 90s, it became all these programs to help elementary and middle school kids.
I hate the arts.
Get into the arts.
Yeah, we got to stop that business.
No, we don't.
This is not right.
That's so untrue.
All the government funding was getting pulled and yanked, and all of a sudden these groups, organizations were coming in and say, we're going to make this program. And so by the early 2000s, mid 2000s, these programs finally got into a groove. They've been established for 5 to 10 years, churning out the kids.
Wow.
And now Katrina came along, and that wiped out for a couple of years, and it restarted everything up again.
Did Treme have any influence there?
You mean the TV show?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that put the spotlight on more the brass band music.
Yeah.
I would say more of that, and then the traditional, the New Orleans jazz stuff.
Right.
But it gave a light to all the different styles of New Orleans. But the big spotlight was pretty much on the brass band and the traditional New Orleans jazz. But it broadcast to the world.
Yeah.
And it took Frenchman Street, which was like the hipster artsy street, turned it into now the mega mini Bourbon Street.
Do you remember when you didn't even hang out at Frenchman?
You were scared to go down Frenchman.
Yeah. No kidding. But we always had our party that you guys, you remember?
That's because no one else would let you have it anywhere else.
Do you know?
It was seedy in those days.
John Grow, right? Badass keyboard player, phenomenal singer. And when he gets in the pocket, and I had the privilege to see him in the pocket last night at Fay Dodo in Los Angeles. And it is such a joy to see you just get your freak on and pound on the keys where I know you're not even thinking about the keys. You're thinking about the pocket, and you're entertaining everybody. I saw it in your eyes last night. Tell me, how often does that happen?
Hopefully it happens every night.
Does it though? I mean, you were in France last week. Did that go in France?
Yeah, I went over in France.
You did?
Yeah, I mean, I just when I'm aware and know what the music's going on, and I'm friends with the people I'm playing with.
Yeah,
it's like having a conversation just like this.
Tell everybody who you played with last night.
Last night with Raw Oyster Cult, which is fairly a new band. Been together 3 years. Haven't really played a lot, but in the last year we're kind of getting our groove on a lot. But it comes from 3 members of the Radiators. Radiators were a New Orleans seminal funk rock band for 30 some odd years. So it's Dave Malone, Camille Baudouin, and Frank Bua Jr. Who had his birthday last night.
But tell him why it was his birthday last night.
His birthday's every night. He loves it.
They celebrate
every day is a new day for Frankie.
Yeah, you know something? I was all excited last night. Oh my God, it's a drummer's fucking birthday. Then I'm having lunch with him, and Nancy and I were talking with Johnny here. He's like, well, his birthday's every night. I'm like,
but you were at the birthday, so
I was at the birthday.
Yeah, it was a good party, wasn't it?
Yeah, the same place that we celebrate Nancy's birthday
at Fay Dodo.
Right.
And by the way, real quick, I don't want to change the vibe. I want to keep this positive.
All good.
Bam. You got a shot of that?
Yeah, I got it, babe.
Chef Larry and Denise, you're always going to be with us. We had a big vibe, big love for you last night.
I mean, the big picture up on the wall of them was just tremendous.
Can you believe that? God.
Because everybody, every once in a while, everybody would look up there.
Yeah.
And just the reverence and the love going out to them. Yeah. And then when you whipped out the chef hats.
Yes.
That was pretty tremendous.
We wore hats and aprons with their name. Nancy put this thing together, and you just start handing them out. It was a love fest.
That's nice.
What it's about. You brought New Orleans to L.A. last night like nobody's business. And if you are not aware of Roy Oyster Cult, now are you going to stay? Is this thing happening, or is this just a fluke?
No. Well, it's probably a fluke. It's happening, but it's happening.
It is happening.
Oh, it is happening. We're like trying to work on enough tunes. We're pretty close to putting a record together and going out. We're hitting wherever we can go. You know?
Let's talk about New Orleans. Can I ask you a question?
One.
Why is there not a bigger acceptance? I'm talking about in the normal population of some of the people out of New Orleans.
Well, I mean, our culture.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it. We're not a pop culture. Right. We're an indigenous jazz, R&B,
funk,
roots culture.
Right.
And, it's like at one time in the 50s, that was popular music.
Right. But let me ask you, why has someone like the Neville Brothers back with Yellow Moon, right? They popped and you heard them on the radio and stuff. But what I'm saying is, I can see you putting 10,000 people in the seats with your groove.
Oh, my wife would love that.
Yeah, but I don't understand why the rest of the country. I know what you're saying. It's
it's destination music.
It's also
true.
It's like gingerbread cookies. It's like you only eat them like once a year. You eat the shit out of them.
Well, here's the thing,
right? But you go down there and you soak it all in for a few days, and then you it's like New York, man. It's a whole different thing.
Well, this is what makes New Orleans different from anywhere else in America. The music and the culture, the food and the music, it's alive and breathing today. Even though we've all heard When the Saints Go Marching In a million times.
Sure.
And that song was probably written over 100 years ago. But when you play it in New Orleans at someone's birthday party, wedding, or funeral, it's alive and important and different than the last time you played it at someone else's birthday party, wedding, or funeral. And it's a part of the living, breathing culture that make up the families, that make up the neighborhoods, that make up the city. And that's what everybody comes to New Orleans to get a taste of because they don't have it in their own hometown.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I agree.
That was strong, man. That was
thunder.
strong.
Give me thunder.
Yeah. Give me a name that you think's going to... I know we talked about Trombone Shorty. Give me another name that you think's going to bust out that you see coming down the pike.
Well, right now we got Hooray for the Riff Raff.
Break it down.
Alabama Shakes. Everybody knows about the Alabama Shakes. Won Grammys last year.
Right.
Same record company found this girl who writes amazing songs, singer-songwriter, kind of in the folky, not quite bluegrass, but folky, rootsy kind of tradition. Signed her, made a record, and she's out on tour right now with it, doing the Letterman show, all the late night shows, getting rave reviews, Rolling Stone and on down. And that's going to be like the next chance at major national spotlight on New Orleans. It's not the traditional New Orleans music, but it comes from New Orleans, comes from the Bywater neighborhood.
What's the day-to-day pressures you have to go through to get yourself continually getting yourself on the road?
Keep up with all the young kids who are busting everybody's balls because they're that good and they're hungry. Staying hungry, it's not hard, but it's something that you have to do. You have to wake up like, okay, this is what I do. How do you stay relevant? You have to do something important today.
Isn't there something to be said, though, for the old guard? Isn't there a fan base for that? The guys who've been at it for 20 years.
Well, there is, but do you think Bruce Springsteen ever relaxes?
No, I'm not saying relax, but isn't there a rootsy fan base that are going to be there no matter what?
Well, that's what's important about New Orleans music. It's always important. It's always relevant, no matter what age group.
Right.
The young kids that are still coming up in high school and they're still going to the Mardi Gras parades and they're still hearing Second Line and Hey Pocky Way playing in the streets. It's a part of their upbringing.
Yeah.
They're going to take that to their grave. And so that's how I grew up. Yeah. That's how my mom and dad grew up. That's how my kids are growing up, being raised. That's a part of our culture. So that's what makes it alive and well and relevant at all times.
I love it, man.
And what you're saying, it kind of makes me think that I have never been in a city or community where there was fans and musicians on stage that there's no fence, there's no border.
Yeah.
You guys, when you guys play, I'm listening to friends and you're playing for friends.
Right.
There's not a gap between the fans and the artists. That's one thing about New Orleans. They're not afraid. Like I've been, this guy cooked me mushroom and chicken 17 years ago, invited me to his house. I've been to the Neville Brothers' homes. I know them. The one thing that I love about you guys coming out of New Orleans and playing, you're not afraid of accepting your fans as friends.
No, we're all people. And music is nothing but bringing people together. That's what it's all about.
You ever think about moving out of New Orleans?
Never. That was something when my wife and I got married. She had to make that commitment because I wasn't going to leave.
You're not going to Kansas.
No.
You got married in Kansas.
I got married in Kansas, and I'll go to Kansas to visit because there's some incredible people there. But I live in New Orleans. That's home.
Let's go deep here. The people that are watching right now, and I hope you are, because we're going to Facebook this, and I want everyone at a Johnny Gros fan base. Let's talk 13 years of Papa Gros Funk. Okay? Hold that thought. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back, and we're going to talk about Papa Gros Funk and what went behind the scenes.
Yeah, you're right.
Plug.
Chunky B. This is Chunky B, 1 Degree of Chunky B on ChunkyB.tv. Adler, an executive producer of Love. And you know we got Johnny Gros. We're going to be right back in a second. And if you go anywhere, I will track you down and kick you in the shin.
Nice.
You guys have got to check out our brand new sponsor, Venice Duck Brewery. You want to get your quack on? Taste some of this. Hey, you guys, music provided by Play Up Music. That's playupmusic.com.
Black is the night that holds you down. Black is the night that holds you down. Black is the night that holds you down. Black is the night that holds you down.
Yeah, you're right. It's John Papa Gros. I'm in the garage of love. And you're watching 1 Degree of Chunky B.
Baby, won't you dance with me?
Okay.
Celebrating the awesomeness that is John Gros out of New Orleans. But check this out, people. I hope you just watched the intermission. Black is the night. If you don't like that, go join your friends on Al Qaeda because you're un-American. Thank you, Winston Giles, for supplying us with awesome music. 1 Degree of Chunky B in the Garage of Love, ChunkyB.tv. Gary Adler across the table. Say something sexy.
Hey, how are you out there, TV land? You said sexy, right? Not creepy? I think I did a little
There's
creepy.
There's a fine line.
Yeah.
There's a fine line.
Anyway, I just want to say thanks to John Henry Binder and Christian Warren for providing us, hang on, let me get you, Chunk,
Yep.
with this week's brew, which
Yep.
is the Stoner Duck Hemp Ale. Let's get our boy, Johnny Gros.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice.
Look at that.
And I'm drinking, just so everybody knows why my glass is different, the Agave Ale, which is a blonde ale.
Which you prefer?
I prefer it, yes. Do you know what agave means, by the way?
You know something? Break it down.
It's a plant, and it's used for multiple purposes.
Back on track. Johnny Gros, say hello. Say hello.
Yo, hello. Where you at?
Who's your favorite person to play with out of New Orleans?
Oh.
And you've played with so many.
Well,
You know, I have.
can we name a few? Do you feel embarrassed by telling the folks at home who you've played with?
Can I just say who I played with in the last 30 days?
Yes.
Okay, let's go with that.
And check this out.
Break
You
it
think
down,
his
baby.
fucking resume?
George Porter Jr., Leo Nocentelli, Zigaboo, Joseph Zigaboo, Modaliste,
Yep.
Anders Osborne, John Fole, Brian Stoltz,
Yep.
Jimmy Carpenter, Russ Broussard, Susan Calsill from the Calsills,
Right on.
Dave Malone, Camille Baudelaire, Frank Bula,
Last night, and you're playing tonight.
and again tonight.
Yeah.
Where are you playing tonight? Let's let the folks at home know where you were a week ago.
Yeah.
Cafe Fay Dodo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
you're right. Yeah, you're right.
That's a good joint.
Now I'm going to really do some name dropping. I'm going to go back about four months.
I like it.
All right, I'm going to
go.
go back 4 months. Dr. John,
Nice.
John Fogerty,
Yep.
Bruce Springsteen.
Shut up.
Yep.
What's it like to play with him?
It was good. He needed a cue, and so he looked at me. He's like, "Can you count me in?" I said, "I got you." He goes, "Good."
Nice.
Really?
Got a count in from Bruce Springsteen.
Oh yeah, it was good.
God damn.
Monk, Big Chief Monk Boudreaux.
Come on.
Oh yes, indeed.
And
Cyril Neville,
Cyril Neville.
Sarah McLachlan,
Sarah. Oh my God.
Harry Connick Jr.
Wow.
That's been the kind of year I've had.
Do
this
you
year.
have somebody? Do you have somebody who books you, or do you do all that yourself?
I have me.
Wow. And so
It's
you had to do
DIY.
all those multiple bookings. Someone's got your number. Everyone's got your number.
Everybody knows who he is. To be
That's
honest with you.
fantastic, man.
You know,
Enough people have a number. I
I'm
hope.
excited, by the way, to have Bruce Springsteen on the podcast as a
There
result
you
of
go.
this. by
That's
the way.
right. I'll do what I can do.
Thank you, man.
but I want to let you know, he came out of the Running Partners. Okay, even that was George Porter and a great freaking band that actually played my wedding. Then you splintered off and did Papa Gros Funk.
Yes.
Then you went 13 strong, solid years of busting your hump, and for some reason, you pulled the plug. Elaborate.
I didn't pull the plug.
What happened?
It got to where we were kind of in a rut, stagnant, and June, our guitarist, he was looking to do something else.
Yeah.
And the guys.
And what was he looking to do? I didn't mean to cut you off, but is he looking to just expand?
Yeah, do something different. I mean, I get it. 13 years. I mean, he said in the best way you could possibly say it. It's like, you know, if I look back on my life, in 13 years, I probably was in 4 bands, about 2 to 3 years each. Mm-hmm. And each one felt like 13 years.
Right.
We were in Papa Gros Funk together for 13 years. It felt like 2 years. And it really was. I mean, we had a great thing going, and it pretty much ran its course, I think. And that's how it came to terms for me. But when June wanted to do something else, the other guys decided they did not want to get another guitar player to come in.
Right.
And they'd rather go our separate ways.
But I know for a fact that you are extremely professional, an overachiever, and I think I don't want to throw you under the bus. I'm not throwing you under the bus, but I'm saying, did you think that you were working way more than anyone else in the band, off the bandstand?
Oh, I mean, I was. I mean, that's just the way it was from day one. If anything had to get done, we didn't have the money to pay somebody to do it. Right. So even if I didn't know how to do it, I'd try to find a way and figure it out. And it just got to a point where,
for example,
you have to get from New Orleans to New York.
Okay.
How you going to do it? You got to get 4 guys, a Hammond B3, and a drum set. So I had a van. I bought a trailer, bought the plane tickets, bought the gas, all that kind of stuff.
That's exhausting.
Took care of business.
Took care of business.
But then you're sitting here running around the country and doing that thing. Not only you're a band leader and a great musician, but you start to slide into the category of babysitting. No, were you
like the band manager?
Well, I mean, we traveled well. All the guys were really good on the road, but it's like you have to have a tour manager. The tour manager is the cat wrangler,
right?
And like someone has to do it. Well, we didn't have the money for that,
so you were it.
So, but luckily it was easy because those guys were really good on it. We got along together. We traveled in one vehicle. We were all on the same kind of schedule. We all put up with the bullshit in the same amount of way. Laughed a lot of it off. Helped each other through it. Everybody had a bad day at different times on the road. We each helped each other through it. I mean, it really was a very solid brotherhood on the road.
Jazz Fest. Jazz Fest is my sanctuary. It's my church that I go to 27 straight freaking years. End of April, beginning of May. Is that the mothership for you? Is that when you're in front of...
That's the beginning of my calendar year.
That's where you start things off?
Starts with Jazz Fest. If you do a good job at Jazz Fest and the world comes to see us, if you've done a good enough job during Jazz Fest, then you were able to go to the world the other 364 days of the year.
Change the subject. What's your worst gig on stage?
Ever?
Give me a story that you just like, why am I here?
It feels like I've done every bad gig in New Orleans over, the last 30-something years I've been playing music. But the absolute worst gig I've ever done was a friend of mine, Roberto. He was the keyboard player for the Chris Owens show on Bourbon Street. And he was taking a vacation, and he needed someone to sub. And I was off, so I said, all right, Roberto, I'll do it. And he handed me a bag full of tapes and says, here you go, learn this. And I did my best to learn it. But little did I know that Roberto actually played the bass on the keys. He did all the piano, the strings, the horn parts. It was pretty much him and a drummer. And then Chris Owens had this whole, dance routine that was very, blocked and organized. And I didn't really have a clue. He pretty much threw me to the wolves.
Right.
The gig was so bad. She was singing the wrong songs to other songs. And then, it was just a nightmare. And then the gig finally ended, thank God. And then I got a call the next morning saying the second show was canceled. And I was like, it's the best news in the world.
Oh, my God. All right.
Hey, can I just say, as a coincidence, I met Ivan Neville's daughter yesterday at this cozy.
Shut up.
Yeah.
You're talking
I don't remember her name, but she was a sweetheart.
Were you kidding me? Ivan Neville's daughter?
Yeah, she was at the cozy. Apparently she lives in the neighborhood now.
Did you mention my name?
No, because Ryan was taking up all their time.
Do you realize you're 1 degree of Chunky Bean? You didn't mention his name.
I'm actually 2 degrees.
All right, you're off the hook then.
Oh my God. I am so...
We'll figure it out. Let's not worry about it.
Come on, I'm friends with her on Facebook.
Yeah. She was super
Oh
sweet
my
girl.
God.
Anyway, she was hanging out at the Co's last night, and I guess Ryan grew up with Ivan. I ran with Ivan for a long time. You know Big Ryan.
Yeah.
And was, just she was hugging all over him like they were old pals.
Do you know she was running around this house? She was running in my backyard when she was like 14.
Yeah. Cute.
Oh my God. You know why? Ivan was running with Robert Cray. Ivan and Robert Cray, when they were doing Expensive Winos, which was with
Keith Richards.
Keith Richards, but Richard Cousins, the bass player, was friends. Ivan Neville.
And by the way, Richard Cousins, excellent guest on 1 Degree of Chunky B. Tune in, folks. It's episode number, I don't know.
Yeah, you never rolled with Richard Cousins.
No.
If you ever run into Richard Cousins, you fucking tell him that you and I are friends because he's an amazing individual.
Okay.
And that whole Robert Cray clan back in like 87 shit when I was young and they tucked me under their wing and took real good care of me.
I've got such a good story. No, I'm kidding.
But you look good with the glasses on.
Thanks, man.
You're cool.
Now, I had a good Chunky B Robert Cray story, but it's already been told on air, so we're not gonna torture the audience with that.
I want to talk to you about a cat by the name of Anders Osborne.
Yep.
What makes him so fucking good?
He believes in himself.
Even though when back in the day he was totally fucking up.
Oh yeah,
He overserved himself 15 years ago.
He's self-destructed a few times in his life, but he still believes in himself. He has very confident about what he's doing, and then he always has a message to say.
He's professional.
He's learned how to be professional. The hard way.
Right. But when he was rolling with that super cutie, Teresa.
Yes.
I thought, what a great match. Teresa
Anderson.
When those two were together and they were on stage, I thought they were going to take over the planet. But I guess they self-destructed. Were they just over-serving themselves?
No, I mean, it's like that was I mean, I don't really know, but because I mean, I'm close friends with him. I played with him for a good bit, but that was never the plan. That just kind of happened out of happenstance.
Right.
Teresa had her music that she wanted to do. Anders had his music they wanted to do, and they tried to do it together, and it kind of worked for a while, but it's like it wasn't the full-blown thing. Teresa needed to do her music. Anders needed to do his music.
Right. Who's your favorite keyboard player besides yourself?
Oh, there's two.
Can I name one?
You can name one.
Art.
The original Papa Funk.
Yep.
The Papa Funk.
Yep. Art Neville. Okay, who would be the second one? You got any ideas? Because Gary's a Meter fan.
Dude, you have no idea. I have no idea.
Yeah. Okay, let me...
Frank Grande. I'm just going to throw that out there. I work with him. He's a keyboard player.
Give me what city he's out of.
New Orleans.
Fucking keyboard. No, not... Okay, then we're probably going old school. We're going...
There's only one.
Say it.
Mac Rebenek, Dr. John.
Oh, really? Technically?
Oh, man. He is the answer.
Dr. John? I was not thinking that.
Oh, yeah.
Dr. John, man. What a great fucking guy.
I mean, Alan Toussaint's in there,
that's
too.
That's what I was going to say. Alan.
Well, Alan's a consummate piano player, amazing songwriter, but Dr. John, pianist, plays great organ. Very understated and unrecognized as an organist, but he is a great organist.
You know what I am grateful for? Dr. John still being alive.
Amen. He's the voice of New Orleans.
Hey, Adler.
Yeah.
This guy
I know
has run the Night Tripper, and I'm
not a virgin to New Orleans. I've been there 5 times
as a virgin.
4 jazz fests, and they all 5 times it took my virginity.
No doubt.
Yeah.
With pleasure.
Oh my God, with pleasure. What a great story you had from New Orleans the last time, Chunk, with your credit card. You want to get into that?
It's still there, isn't it?
Come on, man. You know, none of our family or friends or kids watch this.
Yeah,
so go ahead.
Your wife won't watch this.
Break it out. She ain't watching this crap.
Maple Leaf.
Okay.
On Oak Street, uptown, New Orleans.
Oh no!
And
Shame on you.
It was
my favorite place.
You know, the bathrooms. They actually put crowd pleasers, which is portalettes.
Yes.
On the street,
which are cleaner than the ones in the bar.
Right, exactly. That's why I went out there. I went in there, and I came out. Everything was cool. 5 hours later, I go back in, and I look down, and I'm like, wow, that looks like a line of blow on the. And I picked it up. It was the white strip on a credit card, and I picked it up. It was my credit card.
You find everything you need.
Can you imagine 5 hours later he finds his credit card in the porta potty? That's crazy, man.
And you know what's so funny? We were talking today at lunch. I left my credit card at Fado Do last night.
Oh my God.
It's funny you should mention that.
Now here it is.
Drinks on the house tonight.
Yeah. Johnny Gros, what's your favorite meal out of New Orleans?
Ooh, that's a great one. Oh.
Even though you went with like a turkey BLT at fucking lunch today. Can you pass me the Venice duck?
That's tough. I mean,
what do you like?
It goes on the moods, but lately, my favorite meal is going to this place in Harahan called Scyther's Seafood. He's the guy, Jason Scyther. Look him up on Facebook, Scyther's Seafood.
Okay.
He also does all the crawfish boils and shrimp boils at the Maple Leaf on Sunday.
Really?
Oh, he's a monster chef, boiler, fryer. He makes this thing with blackened shrimp with some kind of like he calls it kung fu sauce, but it's some kind of mixture of eel sauce and spicy mayo and stuff.
Oh my God, my mouth's watering.
Yeah, he puts that over like fried green tomatoes and shit like that.
How'd you find him? Oh, from the Maple Leaf.
No, him and his boys used to come to the Old Point Bar when Papa Gros Funk started
Algiers?
in Algiers. He was a used car salesman back in those days. Hated it. This is one of the greatest New Orleans stories I think I've heard in a long time. Hated it. Said, I need to do some kind of cooking. This little family restaurant had been open in Harahan for like 25, 30 years. Family was going out of business. They were done. He took all of his money in his savings, borrowed some from his dad, bought the restaurant, did what he could. I guess it was like July of 2005. He was down to $300 in his bank account. Hardly had nothing. A month later, he didn't know how he was going to pay the bills. Katrina hit. That part of town was untouched. Overnight, he was making 50 orders of 25 to 30 po' boys a day for the next 6 months.
Wow.
For all the work crews that were coming in because there was no food anywhere around. He'd have to drive however far he had to get to find ice, come in, he'd get his seafood, and he'd just be making him and his wife, his mom, his dad, his sister, they would just making po' boys all day long till their like fingers were like, and that got him on the map. And now he's like been on Travel Network,
really
TV show. He's getting in the top 10 list for boiled crawfish, top 10 list for young restaurants, not the highfalutin ones, but the neighborhood top 10 restaurants for best neighborhood restaurants.
Nice.
He's crushing it every day.
You're going to regret telling this story, by the way, on 1 Degree of Chunky B, because now 3 or 4 more people are going to be there.
Right.
They will almost have a line. We'll have 4 people that.
So when I need like a New Orleans meal and I'm like craving like home, I go over there and Jason hooks me up.
Oh, that's so good.
What'd you do for Katrina? Where were you? What happened? I know we're moved on from Katrina.
No. That still needs to be on the mind of all Americans, even the 4 that we broadcast to.
I mean, we're moved on. My story is so much better than most, especially my little brother. But I was on the road in Japan for a month, the whole month of August. I was in Japan the last week of August. We flew from Tokyo to Boston, and we played on Nantucket. At the Chicken Box.
Chicken Box.
At the Chicken Box.
Chicken Box.
Trip Billings put
Trip A.
Becky, my wife, and I stayed at Trip's house.
Hey, listen, we're talking about Katrina, but let's talk about his wedding.
Not yet. Let me get through the story because we'll never come back to it.
All right. Let's go get Katrina.
All right, so we did 2 gigs on the box, and then we had a wedding in Western Massachusetts in the Berkshires.
Yeah.
And so the whole time, we get back, here's this hurricane bearing down, and we get to the wedding. It's like, it's coming on New Orleans. New Orleans is shut down, telling everybody to leave.
Yeah.
We're like watching on our phones, listening to the radio in the car on the break.
You have
of the wedding.
Family, you have your wife, and
all of our family, kids, everybody trying to make
Yeah.
plans to escape. And here are these people trying to have a wedding, the happiest wedding day of their life. And I remember one of the guys coming to us like, "What's wrong with y'all? Don't y'all want to have a good time?" And we're like, "Dude, our city's getting ready to get obliterated."
Yeah.
And we're trying to get family out of town.
How do you fake it?
We couldn't fake it. I feel so apologetic to these people because all they wanted was a good wedding, and that's probably one gig I'd never delivered on.
Wow.
So we made our plans. We all had our flights. They were supposed to leave out in the morning. I was in the van with Becky and our roadie Rick, and we were going to drive home regardless.
Just going to head back into the storm.
Well, we were just going to get south. We didn't know really how far we didn't know what was going to happen. Sometimes these hurricanes blow through, and in 24 hours it's all over. You go back in, and it's all. So Jason, our sax player, he lives. His family is in Montgomery, Alabama. He made his plans to have his dad meet us in Birmingham, and then Jeffrey, our drummer, his wife was driving out to Dallas, so we rerouted his flights to Dallas. Donald and June, bass player and guitar player, they flew to New Orleans, and Donald's girlfriend picked him up, and they drove to Mississippi. June went back to his apartment in the Garden District in New Orleans. We never made it home. We get to Birmingham that morning. I call one of my childhood friends who lives in Lake Charles. It's like, "I don't think we're going to make it home. Can we come to your house?" Luckily for us, we had a month worth of clothes. We had all of our gear. And so we went to Lake Charles. Luckily, I found out that my ex-wife with my kids, my daughters, they went to Baton Rouge, where we have family.
Right.
So they were kind of safe. And then a couple days later, they wound up going to Lake Charles. So my kids were in Lake Charles. I was in Lake Charles. June called up and says, "Can I come to you? It's getting too crazy," because he was hearing all the gunshots and the looting that was going on all in town.
In the Garden District?
In the Garden District. I got to get out. So June came to us. We really had 3 weeks of vacation. My buddy has this great house on a bayou, and we just hung out. It really was a great time until
the levee broke.
We get back into town. No,
it's time to go back and check out what the damage was.
But just coming back and trying to live. Now my neighborhood, I live close to the river, so we had some wind damage, minor wind damage. I had a couple screen doors blow off, boards off my fence, a couple tiles off my roof. That was really about it. A lot of tree limbs. Within 3 weeks, I had trash pickup twice a week, mail getting delivered every day, newspaper getting delivered. You go 2-minute drive away, and all of a sudden it's blue tarps and nothing going on.
And the houses with the X's spray painted?
That's far away from my house. That's much further downriver from where I am.
Okay.
But even in our neighborhood, there was still all kind of problems. The closer you get to the river, the safer you're on higher ground at that point.
Sure.
But, I'm going to the Maple Leaf to play as much as I can. You have to listen to all the stories, and I didn't have those stories. My brother lived in Araby. He lived about 1.5 miles from where the main levee broke. Mm-hmm. He had 14 feet of water in his house. He left for the weekend thinking, "No, it's just I'll
be back."
He had 3 pairs of underwear and his LSU season tickets.
How
That's all he had.
Crazy. How's
the city changed, and is it will it ever get back to where it was, and has it have things changed for the worse ever after this business? In what way?
New Orleans will never be the same. And the reason I say that is so many people died or got shipped out and never came back. And it's the people to make up a community. It's not buildings. It's the people. So those people are gone. We lost 300,000 people, 200,000 people moved out of town, got bussed out, moved out, whether they wanted to or not, died. We lost half a city. Gone. People gone. Just gone somewhere. Think about that. And so that's one reason why it'll never be the same. The other reason is it looks different. When you have 2/3, 3/4 of the city wiped out and you have to rebuild, the rebuilding, as much as you want to keep everything kind of the same, it's never the same.
It's new construction.
And for those two reasons, as it is, and I can't say that's necessarily a bad thing anymore. I mean, it's like you long for that, but the energy, there's all this new influx. I think New Orleans right now is a top 10 city for young adults, 20s and 30-year-olds.
To move to? It's growing.
And for entrepreneurship.
Wow. That's really interesting.
That's a great thing, but it's a lot of out-of-towners coming in, taking part of our culture. Things like the Treme show, highlights all of this at a time when you need it, and then all of a sudden it's
too
the best,
much.
It's the best marketing campaign anybody you can't pay for, So people come in and want to get a taste of it,
but still do not have the roots. Do not have the the ancestors that.
Right.
I don't think they respect.
Right, but they're making roots.
They're making it's new roots.
They're having kids there who are.
But are they
that's
losing,
all that those kids are going to know.
But are they losing the pizzazz?
It's not losing the pizzazz. It's changing. It's different. Mm-hmm. And I can't, and I think it's good because if it was where it was, if it continued what was going on, I don't know if that was necessarily in the best light for the long haul of being a revitalized city.
Right.
It's tough to change an old guard.
But back to your point, Chunky, about people grasping the national spotlight from New Orleans. Treme has allowed a couple of those musicians to, come to the forefront, and I'm sure they're gigging every night as a result.
No doubt. Like you're talking about for the brass.
Yes.
For the brass, no doubt. And even those actors, the black dude who's the teacher,
trombone player.
Yeah,
Wendell Pierce.
Yeah. Phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, awesome. I just worry.
Is he not a trombone player?
No.
Wow. Good for him.
He started studying. And Rob, we did an episode for Tremaine, and it was on.
Were you on the show at
I was
all?
on the show last season.
How do I not know that?
Which episode?
Did I know that? Maybe I did know that.
I don't know. Did you get my tweet?
That was before Chunky started Twittering.
Yeah. I'm new to this shit.
Yeah, we were in the last season. It was a New Year's Eve show,
right?
All about New Year's Eve, and we were playing a New Year's Eve party. And Rob, I can't remember his name on the show. His name is Rob. He played the trumpet. Mm-hmm. I mean, he started taking trumpet lessons, and he could actually. They had somebody write out like his solo that he was going to play a song with us, and he could actually play it, but he couldn't play it at the tempo we played it at.
Right.
So they had another trumpet player off stage.
Oh, really?
Playing with us, and he was kind of faking it, but he had all the right fingerings, and he's like, well, I just want to show you that I can do it, but he just took it really slow, and he could play it, and but he didn't pretend. Or like he was a real trumpet player. I'm an actor trying to play trumpet, but I'm really trying to play trumpet. I gave big props for him.
Right.
He was great.
Something. Let me go around the bandstand, and it doesn't matter who you say, but I just want names that pop up right off. In New Orleans, drummer.
Oh, Russell Baptiste.
Trombone.
Mark Mullins.
Trumpet.
Kermit Ruffins.
Bass.
George Porter Jr.
Guitar.
Brian Stoltz.
Yes, that's something. Let me ask you something. What you are always what I love about you, even though your last name's Gros and it's spelled Gros, you're always growing. You're always growing. You're not afraid to take risks. You're not afraid to fail.
Oh, I'm afraid every day, but you got to do it. You got to do it.
Right. But
how are you going to get better?
You are, oh my God! I don't want to kiss your ass, but I'm going to kiss your ass.
Should I drop him now?
No, Garrett, no. This is Johnny motherfucking Gros. I don't care.
I thought you were wrapping it up. No, I'm not. Finish.
No, I'm not wrapping it up because I love this motherfucker.
No, I know,
okay?
but
just give me a couple more minutes, okay?
I'm not saying cut it right now. Just. After your big speech.
Am I getting a happy ending?
You are. You're getting the light from the executive producer.
Roll over. This will only hurt for a minute. I'll only stick the head of it in.
Right. You've seen this?
Yeah.
I'm going like that right now.
I know you are.
All right, here we go.
Give me the thunder.
Yeah.
You'll get the thunder, baby.
Give me your the band that you want to go on the road with. Let's say you do rehearse for a couple months. Who do you want to go on? Make your New Orleans
ideal band.
Yeah, your
great question. And then let's get out of here.
Because you want to watch the FSU game.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, there's so many great musicians in New Orleans, but the best part about a band is being friends. That's more important about being a great musician. Friends are going to communicate.
Yep.
Friends are going to hang out and talk. They're going to share. And so it doesn't matter really who I play with as long as I'm friends with them. And I have a shitload of great friends who are great musicians.
It is another thing that you are blessed to have.
Yeah.
And we talked about this at lunch, that you go to city to city to city to actually hang out off the bandstand with really good friends.
Yeah, it's been a great thing I've been able to do all
I mean, you
last
can go
year.
around the country and actually, like right now, in Adler, I'm not even joking. He walked to my house today.
From New Orleans?
Walking from New Orleans. No, he's at a hotel by the Cozy. He walked fucking like a mile and a half.
Well, did you stop at Tito's on the way?
No, I came straight here. Yeah, I was advised.
But you know something,
Nancy wouldn't let me.
You got to feel really, really lucky. And the reason why you have so many friends is because you're a really good fucking guy. John Gros, I'll never ever forget, and I'm about to start fucking tearing up. He played my mom and I at the wedding, the father. I mean the son and mom. The Beatles song.
Blackbird?
No.
Chunky B.
Chunky B. It was like Mother Mary, come to me. My mom's name's Mary.
Nice.
Whisper words of wisdom. Chunky B.
And he sang Chunky
that's
B.
sweet.
And he never told me he was going to do that.
Oh my God.
I just said, hey, my mom wants this to be our fucking did it.
You know what a shame is? That was pre-YouTube days. It
Yeah,
was pre-YouTube, because that would have gone viral. You'd have been way famous by now, bro.
Yeah.
I got you good on that.
I did. You got me really good. But I want to let you know, we're sitting here talking about Johnny Gros and weddings. He is not a wedding band. Okay, don't ever think for a second. One, he's extremely expensive. You guys fucking put me through the ringer. It was, when he's sitting there talking about, I play this band. You know what people do to have him play? Save up for years. Like,
Nice.
He's not a wedding band. He is a band that weddings wish they could have.
That's why you're Chunky B.
I got a wedding next week.
Yeah,
Nice.
something. You want to tell me how much? What are you making?
I'm happy. I'll be able to buy groceries that week.
Hey, listen.
I know you want to go.
No, it's not. Has nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
Where can the folks at home find you if they want to look at a video or something like that?
You can search John Papa Gros. That's Gros. And I'm on Facebook, John Papa Gros.
Yeah.
YouTube channel, Papa Gros Funk. You can find all that stuff.
Yeah.
Or just John Papa Gros.
How do you spell it again?
JOHNPAPAGROS. Pronounced John Papa Gros.
There you
And
go,
know
people.
something? That's a good.
Yeah, you're right.
Thank you for breaking that down. Real quick, as we put a bow on this, I could not be more grateful. Johnny Gros, you are not. I'm not a fan of your music. I'm a fan of yours. I will always be your friend.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I
What it
think it was a
means-
compliment.
You know what it means? I don't care if you were a plumber. I don't care if you were whatever. I am lucky to have you in my life, and I want everybody to know Johnny Gros, Papa Gros, however you want to look him up, please look him up. This is Chunky B in the Garage of Love, 1 degree of Chunky B, ChunkyB.tv. Gary Adler, say something to end this.
I just want to say, wow, what an unexpected pleasure this was, because I was at the vet about an hour ago, and Chunky texted me and said, hey, can you do the podcast for 20 minutes? And I was like, what the fuck? And I'm so happy we did it, because this guy's fascinating, and folks at home, check him out. Do the thing.
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're out. Thank you so much. Love you, brother. That was fun.
Now, I just have to make a comment about Chunky B.